In December of 1912, an unemployed 20-year-old named Edward Louis Bernays was still trying to figure out what to do with his life. Having gotten his first taste of the job he was to spend the rest of his life pursuing, he traveled to what is now the Czech Republic to visit his uncle Sigmund Freud. He spent his summer there, learning about his uncle's theories about the subconscious. George Washington Hill, head of the American Tobacco Company, which manufactured the leading brand of cigarettes in the world. But Hill, always one to leverage an opportunity, saw women as his next target, and he hired Edward Bernays to help him. As he told Bernays, "It'll be like opening a gold mine in our front yard." Bernays started by promoting cigarettes as a diet aid with slogans like "reach for a lucky instead of sweet," seeking endorsements from doctors. The difficulty was that, in society's eyes, the morals of women who smoked were questionable, so Bernays staged an event that would change the way women were viewed forever.
Men have invoked a taboo against women smoking in public. Can you do anything about that? I said, let me think about it.
Bernays called a young women's rights activist he knew and sent her memos to pass out to her friends. He called for elite young women to march down Fifth Avenue on Easter Sunday in full view of church-going crowds and light torches of freedom. Along the route, they would be joined by women from various other churches. In all, 10 women challenged gender roles by smoking their cigarettes in the Gala Easter Parade. The newspapers had been contacted beforehand, and the story spread like wildfire. Soon, women all over the country were sporting their own torches of freedom. In the mid-1920s, Beechnut Packing Company, a huge bacon producer, hired Bernays to increase their slumping bacon sales. The most common tactic of the day would have been to attack the other bacon companies, but Bernays saw things a bit differently. He found that Americans ate less for breakfast because they were in a hurry in the morning. So he convinced a doctor he knew in New York to write colleagues to see if they endorsed a light or a hearty breakfast. Hearty won a landslide victory, the word spread through the media, and Americans followed the advice. Bernays promoted bacon and eggs as the best way to start your day, and the modern American breakfast was born. The after effects of the campaign are still felt today. In 1933, Prohibition was repealed, so in 1935, beer brewers hired Bernays. Eddie promoted beer as a beverage of moderation and as a temperance aid, telling people that they could drink beer if they had an urge for alcohol and thus avoid hard liquor. A sort of vaccination against intemperance, he said. He told farmers that brewers were a major buyer of their barley, corn, and rice, and told laborers that beer was a beverage they could afford. He wrote that beer was the favorite drink of the Babylonians, monks of the Middle Ages, George Washington, and the Pilgrims. Some temperance workers began to believe that the best way to fight intemperance was to legalize the sale of beer everywhere. France may like its wine and Russia its vodka, but Bernays made sure that modern Americans' beverage of choice is beer. Over the years, Bernays worked for an impressive list of clients, including General Electric, General Motors, the New York Philharmonic, and President Calvin Coolidge. He helped out the Aluminum Company of America by pushing the dental benefits of a potentially hazardous byproduct of aluminum called fluoride, even getting it added to drinking water. He helped Dixie cups become commonplace as he worked to promote them as a solution to the growing problem of public hygiene. Bernays paved the way for modern American consumerism and may have been the most important man ever to help companies make you buy what you don't need.
Donald Trump was known more as a businessman than a politician. In the book Propaganda, published in 1928, Edward Bernays said politics was the first big business in America. Business has learned everything that politics has had to teach, but politics has failed to learn very much from business methods of mass distribution of ideas and products. However, now in 2016, I believe Donald Trump has learnt these lessons from his time as a businessman, and they have helped him become the next president of the United States of America. Bernays believed that the public relations man is a creator of circumstance. Donald Trump has used Twitter as a medium to achieve a similar reaction from some voters. He uses his Twitter account with skill and is more prolific than most other presidential candidates. One tweet he sent on the 8th of November 2016, "Today we make America great again," garnered over 350,000 retweets and well over 500,000 likes. Twitter gives him complete control over his message, and he can send information to his followers in real time. He has used his account to create news, attack rivals, and threaten people that disagree with him. The message is clear and consistent. Donald Trump is right, and everyone who says anything to the contrary is wrong. Trump is an expert at post-truth politics. He has connected with people emotionally, often with limited facts to back up his views. This method of connection, as Edward Bernays explained nearly a century ago, has worked successfully in 2016, and is so powerful that it has led to a man who has never been elected into any political office becoming the 45th President of the United States of America.